What's up, y'all? This is the Vibe Show, and we're back with another pop-up. Okay, so we got an interesting show for y'all today. It might be a little controversial for some, maybe a little emotional, but we want to ask you to not be offended, and I don't think that is too crazy, the subject that we're going to talk about, but it is something that's sensitive that's going on, and this is information that I think you need to know. And it was surprising, and Andre and I talked about it earlier, and it's probably the hottest thing going on this week. We look for topics that are relevant, timely, and would also shine a light on information that people would need to know. And we want your view on what you think about this information, because I think it's very vital. It's vital that we have all the access to information. Most of us walk around, we have computers in our pockets. And sometimes, I would say that there is a desire to manipulate or control with that information that we get access to, which is not a secret for anyone who, uses Google or different search engines. They show you things based on, what they think you would like, which can be positive and negative, right? But before we get started, please take a moment to like, share, comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Welcome to the show for those of you that just joined.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas, we got an excellent show for you all today. And I think it's one that's going to generate a lot of conversation. But before we get to that, Andre, how's your week going? How you been since we've done the show last?
Yeah, it's been really good. I have been really busy with EO stuff. I mean, on top of cadet summer training that most of you all are tracking that I'm a part of, I did go TDY last week. I went to JBLM, that's Brandon's old duty station. I went out there to see a brigade out there, our OTC unit, to conduct some classes, to do my walkabouts and visit people and stuff like that. So it was a really good time. JBLM is really nice. I went during a really good time. Hey, Starsha, I see Starsha's on.
What's up, Starsha?
But yeah, I went to go see that unit and speak to the commander, and then I also briefed him on their command climate survey. So I had a really good time there. Seattle's beautiful. And then I saw a couple of friends while I was there, so that was nice. But yeah, I've been doing good, just keeping busy with work. Ready for the weekend because I go TDY again on next Wednesday coming up. And I'm going to Hunter Army Airfield, Georgia, to see another brigade and do the same thing. Just visit, do an SAV, and then staff assistant visit for those of you that don't know what the SAV is, and then do a command climate survey brief with that commander. So really a busy, I know August is going to be busy before I go on leave. I am going to see my bestie Georgie and to also see Brandon in the next couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I got more units to see when I get back. So between August and September, I'm finna be booked and busy. October will kind of calm down, thankfully. But other than that, I'm doing good. I'm blessed and highly favored, loving the Lord. So, yeah.
Hallelujah. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you're doing well. And Andre, when I feel sometimes funny when I ask that question because I know how you're doing. And I probably talked to you about 10 times a day. Yeah, I was blowing Andre up because I had a lot to say today. Well, the same has been going on for me. I'm like a one-man show and I don't like it. But I am. And so, I do the same thing. I'm supposed to go to Alaska at the end of the month, but it looks like I may have to reschedule because there's a shortage of lodging and rental cars. So
in
I may
Alaska.
not be able. And I guess it's like a national shortage in certain places. And so, yeah, but work is busy for me. I'm trying to wrap up, all these deocs and analyze them all and make sure I give my due diligence to commands, because probably, what y'all know, the prior things we've talked about on the show, those are the same things that we kind of experience in the military. So it's a lot going on. And I'm glad the Secretary of Defense got us doing all these surveys. It's just that I have to analyze them all. You know what I mean? And read every comment, and people be writing theses and stuff. Theses. So,
Courtney
but
says something to you. He says, I love Alaska. If you go to Anchorage, go eat at Glacier Brew House.
definitely will do that. And maybe, and you know, they even looked at that too. Like if we fly into Anchorage, because we got to go to Fort Greely, which is in the middle of nowhere. But they even looked at flying into Anchorage, you know, to see if there was a rental car, and skirt. Nope. Well, Andre, you got anything else before we get ready to get started? We're gonna have a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't have nothing else. I'm glad you all are here. I look forward to this conversation, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to having me and Brandon show you our points of view on this, because we both looked at this prior to showing you all. So yeah, that's it.
Yes. So we'll be right back in 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to grab a snack, get you something to drink. And we're back. And I want to give one more disclaimer, just in case some of these people weren't here when we started. You know, this may be sensitive in nature. It may be controversial. We do want you to share your thoughts and opinions, and we'll stop the video and interject. We'll definitely put your comments up on the screen as your comments roll in. And we really want to dive in and have a conversation and have it surrounding, you know, voices that should be able to speak to this issue. So this is Tucker Carlson, a discussion that he had with Dr. Robert Malone. To set the stage for you, Dr. Robert Malone is the person who created the technology for the messenger RNA vaccines. So the mRNA vaccines, that's what Dr. Robert Malone, that's what he started.
The way that's accessible to non-scientists, I hope you'll tell us, do you have concerns about these vaccines for people who aren't at great risk?
Yes, I think that one of my concerns are that the government is not being transparent with us about what those risks are.
I like how you be pausing it and then I don't go ahead and say what you say, because you paused it. Because I'll let you know I want you to pause it if I'm gonna say something.
Yes, I mean, just starting off, he just said, for those who are not at high risk for COVID, does the man who created the messenger RNA, I don't even know what you want to say, program format, I don't even know what's the typical proper term.
The technology to read
technology.
To vamp up the vaccine.
He just said information is being withheld, and he's concerned about the vaccines for those who are not at high risk. Now, I want to say, I'm just bringing this out, right? Because I think it's important. We don't judge anybody. This channel is to uplift and edify. We're not telling you to get the vaccine. We're not telling you to don't get the vaccine. That's not good English. But we're not telling you not to get the vaccine. But we want to provide you with information that is not, I would say, being widespread.
And so I'm of the opinion that people have the right to decide whether to accept vaccine or not, especially since these are experimental vaccines.
Yes, so I'll say this on that last part. And this is information that I learned as well. So it's not like I just knew this the whole time, but the reason why the FDA hasn't fully approved any of the vaccines is because it's still viewed as an experimental vaccine. So it is FDA approved to be of emergency use, but not a fully FDA approved vaccine. And I'm talking about all the vaccines, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Pfizer. Those
Johnson
are
and
now
Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson, yeah. Those vaccines have not been fully FDA approved. They have been approved though for emergency use. So that's kind of where he's going with that conversation by saying that it's still experimental. I mean, the science is evolving and changing every day, and we all know that's how science works. But yeah.
Yes, and so what I also heard this week is that people who are vaccinated could be spreading the Delta variant.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons why. Go ahead.
Oh, and to add to that, those folks could easily be asymptomatic. They're more prone to being asymptomatic because they do have a vaccine in them. So that makes it even scarier because there's folks that are vaccinated that could be spreading it, and then they don't show any symptoms because they have been vaccinated.
Right. Which is why they're also updating they just updated the mask guidelines to say if you have the vaccine, you should also wear your mask in high trafficable areas when you're indoors and that kind of thing. Okay.
This is a fundamental right having to do with clinical research ethics. And so my concern is that I know that there are risks, but we don't have access to the data, and the data haven't been captured rigorously enough so that we
Your faces, Brandon, I can't. Yeah.
accurately assess those risks. And therefore, for folks like your audience, you and me, we don't really have the information that we need to make a reasonable decision.
So this is where I get a little because people are being made to. What also happened this week? This is why I say this is the hottest thing this week. What also happened this week is we had the president.
I thought you can't hold it in. I thought you was gonna bring this up at the end. This
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, I want to bring this up.
We talk about it. We're gonna interject it. And because I want people to, because I don't know if people heard these things. Like the reason I'm trying to establish the reason why we would even show this, because we do not got love for no Tucker Carlson. But so
I know people are probably shocked that we're showing Fox News.
Yes, so I got to lay the groundwork, honey. So look, this week President Biden basically said, you're not smart if you don't get the vaccine. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, said, you basically on multiple occasions related people who don't want to get the vaccine to being drunk. And so there's this rhetoric that's, and then the other part of the rhetoric is that the Delta variant is being spread around by unvaccinated people. This is the reason why I wanted to show this video. This is what Andre and I talked about on why this information needed to get out. And I have a question for you all, and let me know in the comments. Has anybody heard of Dr. Robert Malone or seen him on any other major news network, from ABC, NBC, MSNBC, what else? CNN? Has Dr. Robert Malone, have you seen him anywhere on any of those news channels?
And while y'all are gathering your answers, because we would like to hear from you all, because we're just two people. So there may have been a time where he was on a platform or whatever, because Brandon told me that YouTube has been deleting his stuff and removing it from YouTube. And what I want to say to Brandon's comment is I had a conversation with Brandon. Brandon and I talked like a lot today. And we talked about this. And I told him, I was like, there's a lot in this, and I feel that this is information that the rest of us need to be privy to. And it's very interesting how this information is on Fox News. And I did tell Brandon, because me and him had a back and forth on this. I said, I feel that this information given here is I'm not going to say it helps the right, but it definitely will for some people on the right to say, well, see this information here, that's the reason why I'm not getting vaccinated, because look at this information. So there's an element of that in this. So for me, I say, well, yes, though there is validity to that statement in somebody's eyes, I'm looking at it as this is information that is critical and is very important, but it also needs to be covered on all platforms, because we all know that Fox News is driven to the conservative audience only, right? So this information here is important. It does not matter what political stance political party you sit in. This information, once you hear more out of Dr. Robert Malone, this is stuff that's very important, and Brandon's going to be eloquent on his response and be a lot more eloquent on how he says this. But yeah, all in all, we're saying, this information shouldn't just be on Fox, but it is good that this information is out there. But it is interesting how Fox News is covering this, but not the other major outlets that are more on the liberal side and on the Democrat side. And it's driven because of people like President Biden and people like Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, saying, well, unvaccinated folks are like drunk drivers, which was very, very wrong to say, because it is not only unvaccinated people that are spreading this Delta variant. So it is
the CDC. Yes, and that's according to the knowledge of the CDC, and it's very, we could argue that the CDC should have never said, take your mask off if you have the vaccine. We could argue that.
And didn't I say that though? Those of you that have been following the show for a while, I said it. As soon as that CDC guidelines say vaccinated folks can take off their mask, I was like, it's too soon. It's too soon. And I think the reason why they put that out there, this is my own personal opinion, is because summertime was coming and the vaccine came out in like March. That's when it started getting hot and heavy around March. People were getting vaccinated and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, we'll reach a good 60%, of immunity towards the vaccine. And then no, we barely above 50% vaccinated. So, the thing is that with this, I said it's too soon. It is too soon to be telling folks to take off their masks. It was too soon. Because whether you're vaccinated or not, you are prone to spreading this virus.
Yes.
Whether you're vaccinated or not. And it's not just unvaccinated people.
And you know what else I found out today? President Trump in March on I think it was NBC, told people that he thinks that they should get vaccinated. He told his supporters that he thinks they should get vaccinated, and that the choice is theirs, but he would recommend it. So I'm just saying, like we're in a time where, I feel like there's a spiritual kind of awakening, and we got to be prepared to hear the truth, no matter who it's from, because the truth is the truth, no matter who says it, even if it's on Tucker Carlson show.
I know who I can stand.
See, and I'm not an advocate for Tucker Carlson show nor his rhetoric, but no other network has had him on there. And I just wonder why that is. And we could talk about that some more. And I'll play the video, and I'll try not to pause it till we get to the end, because it's literally only a 2-minute video, but we only 1 minute in. And it's been 20 minutes.
because of you.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll try to hold my peace.
Unfortunately, the risk-benefit analysis is not being done. So that's one of my other objections, is that we toss around these words risk-benefit analysis casually, as if it's a very deep science. It's not. Normally, at this stage, the CDC ACIP would have performed those risk-benefit analyses. They would be data-based and science-based. They're not right now. It's kind of a little bit of the seat of the pants. And that I really object to. So you ask me, do I think the risk-benefit ratio is appropriate for this age cohort? The truth is, I can't really say, but certainly I can say that the risk-benefit ratio for those 18 and below doesn't justify vaccines, and there's a pretty good chance that it doesn't justify vaccination in these very young adults.
Just so, okay, this is what I want to do. Because I paused the video and it's only 2 minutes, what I would like to do is, and because Everett just got on. Good evening,
Hey,
Everett. What I would
Everett.
like to do, what I would like y'all to do, and why I keep saying what I would like to do when I already said what I would like to do. So let's play the video. It's only 2 minutes. Let's play it in its entirety. Hold on. My computer's just, it said I can't handle all this right now.
You gonna replay it without interruptions?
Yes, without interruptions. Because it's only 2 minutes, and Everett just got here, and I asked him to come on, and I'm sure he's gonna give us something.
When it's accessible to non-scientists, I hope you'll tell us, do you have when it's accessible to non-scientists, I hope you'll tell us, do you have concerns about these vaccines for people who aren't at great risk?
Yes. I think that one of my concerns are that the government is not being transparent with us about what those risks are. And so I'm of the opinion that people have the right to decide whether to accept vaccine or not, especially since these are experimental vaccines. This is a fundamental right having to do with clinical research ethics. And so my concern is that I know that there are risks, but we don't have access to the data, and the data haven't been captured rigorously enough so that we can accurately assess those risks. And therefore, for folks like your audience, you and me, we don't really have the information that we need to make a reasonable decision. Unfortunately, the risk-benefit analysis is not being done. So that's one of my other objections, is that we toss around these words risk-benefit analysis casually,
Yes.
as if it's a very deep science. It's not. Normally, at this stage, the CDC ACIP would have performed those risk-benefit analyses. They would be data-based and science-based. They're not right now. It's kind of a little bit of the seat of the pants. And that I really object to. So you ask me, do I think the risk-benefit ratio is appropriate for this age cohort? The truth is, I can't really say, but certainly I can say that the risk-benefit ratio for those 18 and below doesn't justify vaccines, and there's a pretty good chance that it doesn't justify vaccination in these very young adults.
So you want to read Everett's comment, or you want me to read Everett's latest comment? Leading question for people who are not at great risk.
So, I mean, that is, I think the part that I would add to that is, I mean, the person who's making the decision to take the vaccine or not should be working with their doctor to determine, and maybe even if they don't trust that doctor, get another one to have the conversation. Are you at great risk?
And I will also say, Everett said he was trying to guide the conversation in the direction that he wanted it to go.
Who was Everett?
I think he's talking about Dr. Malone.
Okay.
What I want to say is, because I told Brandon this too, there's a lot of people in the country right now that, because, not not to put you on blast, Brandon, but I'm gonna say this prior to. But Brandon was kind of like going in saying doctors is out here ain't doing that. They ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing and all this stuff. But I told Brandon, I said, well, Brandon, not all doctors. There are doctors out here that are telling their patients or their well, I call them I hate to call them patients, but they're patients, but telling them that like, hey, due to medical reasons or due to whatever situation you got going on, don't take the vaccine. So we're not talking about the individuals that medically cannot take the vaccine, but there are individuals, there are doctors out there that are doing that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, going off of what Dr. Malone said, he's basically saying like it's an experimental. We're still in the experimental stages, which is the reason why it is not fully FDA approved. It's only FDA approved for emergency use because it's experimental.
Right.
And then Ever said no. The question came from Tucker. What was the
Mhm.
question, Brandon? Do you remember the question?
Because okay, this would go to Andre's point about, you know, having Andre, when you were talking to me earlier, and I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier in the show about why Fox News would have Dr. Robert Malone on, because I can't say they're anti-vax, but they, you know what I mean? They will play to their base,
They're not
whatever
promoting it.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not promoting to get the vaccine. No.
So that would be a motivation for them to have Dr. Robert Malone on. But the thing that I'm trying to separate is the emotion or the ideology of it, just to get the data and the information. Because Dr. Robert Malone is the inventor of the mRNA vaccine technology. So it's like, why is Dr. Fauci on television more than him? You know what I'm saying? Like, why isn't this guy on the TV just as much as Dr. Fauci? Why don't we hear his voice on these other channels that would give people a better? Because if we had the benefits to, like he said, the risk to benefits ratio, right? If we had that information, maybe more people would get vaccinated, right? Maybe people would feel more comfortable. Okay, like I know that this is, but when you withhold information and you create mistrust, now
Right.
people are like, I don't really trust the government.
And then he said they had HBCU doctors to help with the research in order to get the Black community on board.
Yes, and they also use churches, and
which we're going to talk about later because there's a clip that Brandon's going to show towards the end of the show that talks about it. Because, yeah, we're going to get into that because I want to get into that as well. But the thing, and what I told Brandon Everett, because you came on a little later, is that it's really interesting that this information was only on Fox News, but I wanted to see his stuff. If this, especially with this information being very, very important, in my opinion, Brandon and I's opinion, this information is critical. How come CNN hasn't asked him to come on? How come MSNBC, ABC, all these different big media platforms haven't brought him on? Because this is, this is interesting. Everett says something again.
And like, what would be the motivation to not bring him on?
The government's mistrust has been running wild like Hulkmania in the 80s.
What are you gonna do, brother?
Yeah. So because it says he does not fit the narrative for the other channels. Yes. So the other channels are saying go get vaccinated, but Governor Gavin Newsom, like, he should not have said unvaccinated people are like drunk drivers. Shouldn't have said that. There's no reason for that. That was extreme. Like, and then you're only talking about one group of people when there's information that says that vaccinated folks are the ones that are prone to spreading this Delta variant that's out there, and they can be asymptomatic and not show symptoms. So that right there says a lot. So to only categorize it in one area, like Brandon said so eloquently on the phone with me earlier, that this creates a divide and it's a divide with everyone, because you have folks that are vaccinated saying one thing and then trying to blast the folks that are unvaccinated. So it's like this war. It's kind of like the government likes it. It's like the government gets a thrill out of this divide, because there was no reason why Gavin Newsom should have said unvaccinated people are like drunk drivers. Like, what was your point behind that statement? There was no reason for that. And being insensitive to the individuals that are not able to take the vaccine for medical reasons. So,
and what do you think about, like, why do you think? Because what I think that more people should do is gather the information, have discussions, digest the information. There's nothing wrong with digesting the information and having a conversation and making observations about what you think. Like, because I'm like, we should use our brains, use our words to, like, what would be the motive? Like, we already posed the question, why isn't he on the other channels? Everett says he doesn't fit the narrative for the other channels. I can agree that is one of the reasons. What is another reason why you think, for everyone watching, and also Andre, what is the reason why you think President Biden said those things about unvaccinated people and Governor Gavin Newsom did this week? What do you think? What's the motive behind it?
Well, like I said earlier, it's about bringing up divide and forcing people to get vaccinated.
Yeah, thank you. You just said it. I feel like they're paving the case for mandated vaccines because they will get enough people, they will get enough liberal Democrats, right? Because we're politically agnostic on this show, but like if we're going with the reasoning that Everett said, right? Isaiah 118 says, come and let us reason together. So that's what I want to do, right? That's what we're doing right here. We're not isolating anybody. We're not judging anybody who did and did not get the vaccine. We're just digesting information. And I believe that the reason why Dr. Robert Malone was not on these other channels is because he doesn't fit the narrative, and they want to pave the way for government mandated vaccines. That's what I want to. That's what I.
Yeah, but I think it's counterproductive though.
Very counterproductive.
It's counterproductive because you got you got the left saying take the vaccine, you better take the vaccine because you stupid if you don't take the freaking vaccine, and then you got the right saying another thing, saying like I ain't getting vaccinated, I ain't worried about that vaccine, whatever. So that's what I'm saying.
And it's the extremes on both sides, right?
Yeah,
because there's a difference. There's a difference in those who have vaccine hesitancy and then those who act like the virus don't even exist.
Which is why I said there's people negligent with mask wearing and all that stuff. So I'm gonna read Everett's comment. People want to believe that the next civil war is supposed to be like all other wars. I say we have been in a civil war now for a few years and things are just escalating at a slow pace. And then he also mentions firing up his base. So, and that's interesting you say firing up his base. You talking about Biden's base? So Biden is firing up his base? I'm just asking Everett, is Biden firing up his base to mandate the vaccine and to push that narrative out versus the right kind of being like, don't take the vaccine, it's a hoax? Because a lot of folks on the right are saying, not everybody, but a lot of folks on the right are saying that it's a hoax, it's not real. Unfortunately, I hate to say this live, but I have friends, I got friends that don't believe in this virus. I have friends that are not going to get vaccinated. They don't even like masks. They're like, I'm not doing none of it. So I'm just like, well, shoot, it's a lose-lose on all ends. You don't believe in the virus. You don't believe in and then you're not believing in wearing the mask and you're not getting vaccinated. So there's all this negative all across the board. So, Everett says there are trickles of that. If you look at professional football, you will be vaccinated if you want to play this year. That is a test group to see how it works. Speaking of that, I want to speak on that, Everett. So there's a player, black man. I do not know. I forgot his name, but he tested positive for COVID-19, and he is in isolation for 10 days. I'm not sure behind the scenes what's going on with him, but I'm hoping that that's not the case for this player who tested positive, but he did apparently test positive within 8 months of each other. So he tested positive in November, and then he just tested positive again this month. So I'm just like, oh goodness. So the narrative that is being painted in these articles that I'm seeing is, he tested positive because he's unvaccinated. So that's the narrative that I'm seeing. The narrative that because he's unvaccinated, and they're also saying 90% of the players are vaccinated. There's 10% that are not, and he's one of the 10% that's not, and he tested positive for COVID. And then another factor that they don't factor in is that for folks that are vaccinated, you only get tested every 14 days. So there's a big gap between someone maybe tested negative for COVID. They could have had COVID in between them 14 days, and then by the time they test again, they're back to being negative. So there's so many ways to look at it. And this is just my research and looking at football players and how they're tested. That vaccinated folks are only tested every 14 days, but I think the unvaccinated are tested way more frequently than that because they're not vaccinated. But Everett says, and yes, he is firing up his base just like the former president. He has to make sure he's always in a good light with his people. Ooh, Lord, that sounds very. Ooh, okay, well,
See?
I'll say no. I'll say it. I'll just go ahead and say that sounds very Trumpish. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I just think too. There's this when we politicize things with limited information, like that doesn't do anything for us. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the epitome of misinformation.
Everett told me to stop, but I'm sorry. I went ahead and did it. Sorry, Lord. Everett told me to stop. But okay, go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think when we politicize things, you know, it's like popular to do it in such a way where there's limited information. And, you know, it's crazy because people on the right normally, like we're just talking about narratives. If you're conservative or on the right, I'm not against you. And if you're on the left, I'm not against you either. I'm just talking about the main portion of those people on either side are very extreme, and on the right it's like, let's politicize everything and use misinformation, even though we can't define stuff, you know, which is a total another topic. But let me give the example of like critical race theory. The people who are all against it can't even define it. And it's like, if you're going to be against something, at least have the research and let it be fact-based on why you're against it, not let it be emotional based on lies and your misinterpretation of you're defining what that is. It's kind of like trying to tell a Black American about a Black. If you're a white American, it's like trying to tell a Black American what their experience should be like. But you never been in that. You know, you've never been that. Maybe you should listen and take it in and then make your point of view instead of, you know, yeah.
And I mean, I'll say this too. You know, we're going to be talking about it because we have a YouTube video that Brandon and I discussed about critical race theory and this one man that was looking real silly with the interviewer in reference to that. So we're going to cover that in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
A little bit more on critical race theory because
it's not going anywhere. And I feel like these two things, right? The vaccine with limited information and critical race theory with limited information, like we're not giving ourselves as humans the best benefit of the doubt, and we're not reasoning together like it says in the scriptures in Isaiah 1:18.
Everett says social media has made it quick to report something without the research being done, like in times past when you got the news at 10 with Tom Brokaw. Not sure how to spell his name, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so it's not about it's about being first, not being correct. And
can I push back on that real quick? Because I think news media started doing that first, before social media. Journalism used to be more investigative, proof, facts. But then they started making everything like perspectives and analysts and
opinions.
And Fox News won that court case with the Supreme Court because they were sued because they're like, this isn't news, it's news commentary. But Fox News won that court case. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch back on the misinformation piece. I think it's even bigger than misinformation because Brandon, you and I talked about we only get nuggets of information. We don't get the whole thing. So that's half truths, I think you said, which I kind of like that term, half truths, where we're getting pieces of information, but we're not getting all of it. Give me all of it and let me make that decision on what I want to do with myself. But to create this divide with the US on getting vaccinated versus not getting vaccinated, and then blaming the Delta variant only on unvaccinated people, that's just going to be a divide. That's why I said I feel that Dr. Malone should have been on all platforms, but Everett said it best. Like it doesn't cater to their message. Yeah. And then Everett says news became opinion pieces. I get what you say. So you got what you said.
Yeah, and don't you think too? Like I've seen videos because I've searched for them. I've searched for stories. Like I would like to pose the question: how many stories have you seen where they talked about the negative side effects or adverse reactions to getting the COVID-19 vaccine? How many stories have y'all seen? I've only seen one or two. on the mainstream network over like the entire time, you know. And then I've seen like, okay, the vaccine's on pause because of blood clots and all that stuff. But how many have you seen of actual families, of actual kids? And just recently, you know, I kind of looked it up, and I go to the VAERS website where they record the CDC. Like if you have any side effects, you can report it there because it is experimental, and that data is there if you want to find it. And I think the lesson in this, and the reason why we showed the Tucker Carlson video, is I think the lesson for me today was be prepared to accept the truth from sources which you may not like. But don't be focused on the messenger, be focused on the message. Because if you allow the truth to set you free, it'll set you free. Because I feel like now, since we've shown that video, I think people could have a better opinion or idea on whether they should take the vaccine or not, because he spoke about the different age ranges. He talked about the risk to benefits ratio that's not being done. He said the government is withholding information, and this is the inventor of the mRNA vaccine technology. So now that you have heard that, now you can make a more educated decision on what you should do, or feel more beneficial about the decision that you've already made.
Cordy says they know she's cooking. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, like, you know, I think that it's time, you know, and I think we've talked about this. I remember talking about this on the season 1, like digesting the media with truth, right? Like we got to digest the information, and the truth is out there. But if you like a person who like, oh, Tucker Carlson, he this, he that, but look, he just had somebody on his network, on his show that nobody else will have. And I'd hate to compliment Tucker Carlson. Like, how can I? It's 2021. The dude is a white supremacist, and I'm complimenting him. But at least
he's a demon to me.
See, and I think he is too. But look, why have none of these other networks? Why have they not brought him on there? That dude should be on television. We should be asking him just as much as like they put Dr. Fauci up there. But this is the person who invented the technology. This is the person we should be listening to. I bet he has more that he could say. That was a 2-minute clip, and he done gave so much information in that 2 minutes.
He did. Everett said something just now. The truth does not need support. It will support itself. That's Nelson L. Okay, I heard it from this brother, and he has never been more accurate.
Damn.
Yeah, it doesn't need support. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The truth does not need support.
And that's how I felt when I listened to Dr. Robert Malone. Like I felt like his intuition. I feel like he was telling the truth. What dog in the fight does he have to lie? I don't. And even though, like Everett said, he posed his question because he wanted to change that's what Tucker Carlson does. You know, he wants to frame a certain narrative, but the doctor stuck with the facts.
And you see how Tucker Carlson couldn't really.
He had to just listen, right? I mean,
can't say nothing. And also with, you know, so I guess in March, Trump, and I think Brandon, I just realized that in March, Trump finally, you know, announced to get vaccinated or whatever. And then behind the scenes, even Tucker Carlson's old raggedy behind got vaccinated too. But all in between that time, he has created this narrative of like, you know, the virus ain't real and all this stuff, and very like
telling people they should wear masks. He's been reckless.
Wear masks. Like it's just crazy. So, and it kind of goes into what Brandon. Yeah, I think you should show that video with that pastor.
Yeah.
I want y'all to see something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so with this pastor says he'll kick out anyone wearing a mask. He said this in a church service. I wanted to talk.
Pastor tells his congregation, if you wear a mask, you will get kicked out of his church. Here's that video.
Don't believe this Delta variant nonsense. Stop it. Stop it. I know right-wing watching. I don't care. If they go through round 2 and you start showing up all these masks and all this nonsense, I'll ask you to leave. I will ask you to leave. I am not playing these Democrat games up in this church. If you want to start a business, go to First Baptist Church, but don't come to this one. I'm done with it. I've said I'm done with it. I ain't playing these stupid games.
This is why I don't go to churches who believe in white Jesus. He is obviously the biggest Karen we've ever had on this program. He is literally telling his congregation that if you have the audacity to simply take care of your own healthcare needs
in the church,
expressing your healthcare rights, then he will kick you out of his church. This guy's name is Pastor Greg Locke. He used his Sunday sermon to ridicule governmental intervention as it relates to vaccines. And the round two, he thinks obviously is a hoax. He told his congregants do not believe in this Delta variant. Now, I'm not trying to wish any ill will upon the pastor, nor his congregation. But here's the reality, and we'll report on it when it happens. Somebody's going to die in his congregation from COVID. Yep. You'll see it. It'll happen. Don't want it to happen, and it's avoidable. But time after time again, when we've seen these individuals with extreme power over the masses, telling them what to do, how to think, and how high to jump, we have also seen disaster. We have seen families torn because they listened to their church leader and their nonsense. The Tennessee-based pastor of a church called the Global Vision Bible Church also declared he'll kick anyone out who wears a mask in church. You heard that. Let me read a quote from the church's homepage. It says, "We would like to welcome you to our church. We accept everyone just as they are, but we love you too much to let you stay that way. Come and grow with us as we seek God's will and show his love." Dan, what are your thoughts here?
I think you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, you don't wish this ill thing to happen on any people, but you've seen it over and over again. I think most recently, like over at least in my part of the woods in California, in Huntington Beach, there's this restaurant owner who's insistent, like totally insistent on only allowing unvaccinated people into his restaurant. If you're vaccinated, if you're wearing a mask, he's not allowing you in his restaurant. We've gone to a full, I think it's important to remember the context. I'm a context guy. It's important to remember how we got here. It's because Donald Trump muddied the waters over, should you wear masks? Should you not wear masks? Does the vaccine even exist? Should we inject bleach into our veins? Like, because of all this nonsense, because of this, like, party power that Donald Trump has over a significant portion of, let's be honest, a white supremacist power system in the United States, we have this muddied idea of what masks do and what masks don't, trusting the science, trusting what people say about this very real virus that has unfortunately claimed the lives of several 100,000 people in the United States, and say nothing of the countless millions worldwide who are still dying at high rates because while they're struggling with even getting access to vaccines, we're having these nonsense arguments over, oh, I don't want to have the right to have to inject this thing that will be safer to me and my church community, my religious community. So it's complete and total like hypocrisy, but hypocrisy doesn't matter for these church-going people, at least like this type of church-going people.
Yeah,
and the great folks out there.
Right, I agree. And I want everyone to remember there is nothing else in the healthcare discussion that has been politicized as much as COVID. And think about this. Whatever you want to do health-wise with your life, nobody will kick you out of their church because of it, except as it relates to COVID-19. He's not the only pastor saying things like this.
So there is so much wrong with that man that I'm gonna call him a non-pastor because he's not a pastor in my book.
Look what Eric said.
Bye.
Bye. And then look what he said.
Brandon, don't say anything about the church. You are biased. Okay, so I'm gonna say this since Brandon can't talk.
Hold on 1 second.
I was drinking coffee.
Okay.
So there was so many things wrong with that pastor. And I'm gonna call him a non-pastor because that was insane. So you have brought your political views into The church. So you're saying that that Democrat mess, get out my face, but you're inviting Republicans into your church, but not Democrats. So I don't even know what kind of church leader you are, but that is insane to me that you are literally bold enough. You are bold enough to make a statement like that as a pastor, as a person that is supposed to be welcome. So you completely went totally against your website. So this website that you got up that says all them beautiful words, it don't mean nothing because what you just said there, I haven't even went to your little website.
Your little website.
Yeah, your little website. I haven't went to your little website and saw the nice welcoming message. So based off of this, if I was just scouting the internet and just checking stuff out, I'd be like, well, I know where I'm not going.
And he doesn't believe in the vaccine at all. That's how that dude preaches. And he's gone. I mean, he's not even a good character. If you Pastor Greg Locke, you could look him up. There's been Vice stories about him, CNN stories about him.
Remember, he is the spokesperson for God. Think about it.
Dang. I got to go in on Everett a little bit because I don't think I'm biased. I think that my anointing and my calling is to the church body, but the problem is the church, when we look in the scriptures, when we look at the Old Testament, it was always the people of the Most High who were the rebellious ones. And then the Most High had to send his prophets to gather them.
I think he was joking, bro.
I know, that's fine. And I ain't going in on him, but there's a little bit of truth to everything. And I may seem that I'm biased, you know.
See, that was me just being messy.
But I think that, you know, maybe some people do think I'm against the church or I'm biased. And when it comes to the American Christianity, I very much am against American westernized Christianity, which is very homogenous, right? It's very like dogmatic, like Christ or nothing, right? Like the elements of the indigenous peoples and the indigenous people in all of us, because we're all indigenous. When we think about where life came from, where science says life came from, everything came from black. I'm just saying, everything came from there. They know it.
Yeah.
Right. And then the stuff that didn't come from there, the Neanderthal and the, you know what I'm saying? I'm just go to the scripture and you'll see the begat who, and you'll see where it talks about in the Old Testament where the heavenly beings came down and slept with the earthly beings and then created something else. It's in there. But my point is, you know, I'm just against the fact that where is the church in all of this? That is a pastor. There's more. That's not the only pastor who's preaching that way. Like, I thought you're supposed to be talking about salvation and healing. How many pastors out there praying for people to get healed from COVID? Or that how many people are reading and declaring Psalm 91 over their flock, saying that, you know what, ain't no pestilence, no sickness, no disease is gonna stop by here.
There was no love in his message.
None.
Like, there was no inclusion in it. There was no love. I mean, it was the opposite of what a pastor's supposed to be. So for me, I'm just like,
yeah,
it's amazing to me and shocking to me, and amazing in a bad way, by the way, that this pastor did that. Like, you completely, completely went against what you're supposed to be representing.
And I feel like that is way too many American churches or churches in America. How about that? That is way too many churches in America that see the injustices and allow things to go on for their narrative and for their base. And I bet you since Pastor, I bet since Pastor, look, I got a screwdriver in my hand. I bet since Pastor Greg Locke started preaching this way, I guarantee you his offerings and tithes went what?
Went up. I mean, Everett just said it. Everett just said it just now. He says, yet he meant what he said, and his followers were cheering him on.
Yep.
They were.
And all these same people, right? What's interesting is, I didn't even do this on purpose, but what's interesting is earlier I connected the misinformation piece and the lack of information on the COVID-19 vaccines and the way things going, like, into critical race theory, right? I guarantee you, his flock, and he himself is probably against critical race theory, but yet can't define what it is, huh? That dude likened the entire pandemic to Democrats.
Which again, this brings up what we talked about earlier, that it creates a divide.
Yes.
He literally just proved what I said.
Yes.
The divide with the Democrats mandating a vaccine and then the
Mhm.
Republicans being like, I ain't going, don't be taking
Mhm.
this.
And so, you know what? Maybe I'm a little biased against so-called churches because they got the scriptures that tell them how they should live, but they preach everything other than that. I mean, and you heard I love Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. That was the second clip. I love the show that he does, and that's why he said, I don't go anywhere where they preach a white Jesus. Like you dead wrong. Now, does his race really matter? We could argue that, but it told you what he looked like.
Yeah, it does. It does, but it doesn't. And I say that it does matter because he white, but it doesn't matter because there are black folks that are saying the exact same thing he's saying. It's just not out there. Maybe not on video, but there are black churches saying the same thing. Ever said there must always be a good guy and a bad guy. It just depends on perspective. And something you said to me that I actually learned from you, Brandon. Well, I won't say I learned it, but I definitely can say that I see.
Oh, don't take the credit back now.
No, I learned it from you. I learned it from you. Okay. That even there are black folks that can be a part of white supremacy.
Oh. Yes.
And I say I learned that from you just because, just the different conversations we've had and the experiences you've dealt with and stuff like that. It's deep because, you in my mind, I'm like, no, like, nah, black folk, what? White supremacy with black people. But no, there are. There are. And I've been brought into the know of it now. And then Ever just said facts. So
yeah, and I think it's really sad. But we do exist to uplift and edify. And I think the most positive thing I can say about this is that this is all mainstream. Right. And what it does is I believe that this is how the Most High works. At least this is how he works with me. And I believe this is supported in scripture. Until you make a decision, you ain't done nothing. There is a certain point at which your lack of decision is a decision, but that's up for the Most High to determine when that is for you. I can't say when that is. But the fact that critical race theory is not going nowhere, that's why I want to talk about it again.
We got to talk about it with that clip that we saw. We got to talk because that right there was good. We need to maybe do that on another pop-up. But just off topic, Brandon, I love your shirt. Like, I love your shirt so much. I just been staring at it the whole time. and the man that was in the video, the young guy that was talking, his shirt was amazing too.
I was thinking about how his shirt was amazing too.
So I just wanted to shout y'all out. Like,
thank you.
I'm over here in a basic Banana Republic shirt that says "sell" on it, and
but you rocking your shirt too.
Hey. I mean, I can rock it in my own way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Ever says, like I used to say, don't be so afraid to be wrong that you forget to make a decision.
Amen. Yeah, and I feel like there's something that the Most High honors about commitment. I mean, he done blinded Paul. You know what I'm saying? Said, why are you persecuting my people? Like when he told Judas, hey, whatever you about to do it quickly. Right? Like there's something to making a decision. And he even prompts you and helps you. The Most High will help you to make the right decision. But if you make the wrong one, he's an advocate for you to get it right too. And I just think that we're living in such a time where we do have whatever's going on in the dominant culture, we are to be outside of it. But if we're ever going to be a witness and a light, then we have to know what's going on. That's why the Vibe Political Show always aims to uplift and edify and, talk about relevant topics, because we are not against our brother. And Ephesians 6 tells us we're not against flesh and blood. Like the scripture tells us to pray for our enemies, that they would have a train of thought that would change. But it is definitely the wrong answer for politicians or anybody to be blaming somebody from the pandemic when there's probably a 90% chance that it came from a lab, that it came from the lab in Wuhan. President Biden would not have selected the and paid for, right, and let money go to the intelligence community to research if it was not a valid thing that it leaked from a lab. The CDC, the head of the CDC, the white guy, the bigger guy, I don't think he works. I don't know if he's still the head of the CDC now, but even him said they were doing gain of function research and that that it did most likely leak from a lab. Rand Paul established, Dr. Fauci was lying. Dr. Fauci lied to Congress straight up. Y'all can find that video. He lied to Congress straight up. That just happened, I want to say this week or last week. And he was talking, Dr. Fauci said that they were not doing gain of function research, but if they were doing it in accordance with the guidelines and policies.
He lied smoothly to not get exposed.
Yes.
He lied.
Yes. And Rand Paul was like, you lying. Like you lying. Like, and what made it so bad is Rand Paul told Dr. Fauci, and I don't support Rand Paul either. I don't like what Rand Paul represent, but we cannot be such we cannot be so ingrained in the system that we become like the system, because the Most High exists outside of it. And he said, come out where I am. Because if we were not able to digest the media with truth, if we looked at these people like they're our enemies, then we miss out on the truth. Then I wouldn't have found Dr. Robert Malone, who wasn't on no other channel. So now the Biblitical, because I was able to find that, and because I want to know what other people are saying, and I want to know what the culture vultures, you know what I'm saying? I want to know what these lying folks with these serpent tongues are saying. Then I found out, okay, Dr. Robert Malone is on here giving us some facts and truth that we wouldn't have found on CNN or nowhere else.
Mm-hmm. Everett says, sorry to say it, China virus, not a supporter at all, but he did say that. And I hate that I quote this dude.
And I feel like the interesting thing, you know,
virus?
Who, Trump did?
Well, Trump did. I was like, not Dr. Fauci. He didn't say that.
Nah.
Maybe not China, but manufactured somewhere. That's what Everett just said.
I feel like it was in the Wuhan lab. There's so much facts that were reported, and the hard part is we can't confirm none of this. We just regurgitating what was said. But that's why I think the Dr. Robert Malone interview, which was 2 minutes long, and he dropped so much knowledge in there. That's why I think it's so imperative, because you're getting it from the source. But other news sources reported. Remember, go back to before the pandemic really hit. The people who were working at the Wuhan lab, where they were doing gain of function research to test viruses and stuff. Remember, those people had mysterious illnesses and were hospitalized.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a lot of validity to these things. So that makes it even that much more. So now we can even say the Democrats and Republicans, Your Honor, hello, are giving misinformation.
And what did I say like a while back, Brandon? Do you remember me saying that the Democrats and Republicans are in cahoots?
Yeah, we said that on the show multiple times.
Multiple times, like, and this is proof. Like this pandemic is proof of that. Is exactly because we do not know. We are left with speculation, and we're left with speculation because guess what? Dr. Robert Malone was only on Fox. He's not on ABC, CNN, MSNBC, all these big media heads, because it goes against the narrative that they want to paint in reference to mandating a vaccine to be taken.
So the solution that I can give to you all is to establish a relationship with the Most High and listen to him on what you should do when it comes to your health, what you should do when it comes to the situation of the vaccine, where you should move, where you should work. The Most High wants something to do with every aspect of your life. And that's another reason why I may be biased against church, because like that dude was up in there talking about the world situation, not how to get out of the world. There ain't no truth in politics. There ain't no righteousness in politics. Politics. It's been that way for so long.
I like that. Politics. I like
politics. Like there's no redemption in that unless, you know, the Most High put you there. Maybe Nina Turner. Please, Lord, protect Nina Turner and let her win. And you know what I'm saying? Let her stay true to the cause, because Nina Turner, I do have a little bit of faith that she could turn some stuff up in Congress.
Is she running for Senate? She's running for senator
in Ohio. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Ever says he has told me to educate myself from different sources and listen to my heart. He will never leave me unprotected.
Amen. And that's the scripture. It says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Free to make the right decision, free to not live in fear. You know what I'm saying? And that's the life that Andre and I live. We free. We know that the Most High and I are good, and we don't have to worry about no pestilence. We don't have to worry about no financial coming crash, no housing market crash. We don't have to worry about none of that, because the Most High is our source. And that's the concrete knowledge that we all can have.
Yeah.
And my issue is that the church ain't really telling people that you can be that connected to the Most High like that. What they're telling you is come and bring your money. Come and listen to what I'm telling you. Come and let me tell you about how the Democrats have ruined everything. Pastor Greg Locke. Like,
pay my church mortgage.
Okay? Ooh, and you know who I want to talk about on this show? Voddie Baucham. That man, I want to talk about him. He's Black, and he was with the Southern Baptist Convention, and he be preaching about wokeness and social justice and really calling all these things evil. And using it so, and you know what I'll say? That just brought me right back to something. When you look at history, there was always one of us. There was always one Black. At the signing of the Declaration of Independence, at the signing of the U.S. Constitution, you know what? Can I just be Afrocentric for a second? They need one of us to co-sign it. And that's why I think, Andre, I realized that, you know what, white supremacy wouldn't be what it is without the Black folks too that are propping it up. Because white supremacy, though it may have started from white people, it's not white people. It's an ideology. That's how it stays thriving. That's why they're against critical race theory and all that.
Ever since I heard a comedian, I think Damon Wayans, said going to church is like going to Vegas, leaving like, man, I lost $70 in there. The first president of the U.S. Wow. Speaking of that statement about the I gave $70, me thinking back to when I grew up, because I grew up in the church, as most of you all know. So my sister and brother-in-law, we attended church, and I would hear the conversations on the drive home, like, "Ooh, we gave a lot of money, but we love the Lord." And it's like and back in that time, I'm thinking, well, I guess it's the right thing to do. We're gonna be blessed because we didn't gave so much money. And even for me, when I worked at Burger King, I had a pay stub. I got paid. Well, I'm not calling it pay stub like I'm old, but them pay stubs. But yeah, I get a check from Burger King, and they would teach me like, pay your tithes and offerings, Andre. Give your tithes and offerings. But I'm over here acting like them, giving more money than my tithes and offerings, because guess what? I get my tithes and offerings, then the Spirit hits the Spirit, Lord. Just showers everybody. We just slain in the Spirit. And the pastor says, I hear the Lord saying, give more money. Not even knowing that, no, they just need some more coins to pay some of these bills that's going on in the church. So, as a teenager, I'm not knowing. And I don't even think Victor and Angela, I don't even think that they knew. I'm going to put their name out there. Shout out to my sister and brother-in-law.
Yeah.
But I don't think they knew either. And this is no shade to them. I'm just saying, like, they grew up in the church. That's what they were accustomed to. And they brought that to me too. And so when I got my check, I'm over here trying to calculate how much tithes and offerings I'm giving. And I'm giving it from a good place, giving it from my heart. But we were manipulated in the church.
Yes.
I didn't mean to say their names out loud, but I mean,
and that's why I think it's so important to read the scriptures for yourself, because what I have learned and what I discovered is that the tithe is no longer in the New Testament. Offering is in righteous order, but to teach the tithe is still in the order. And I could break it down to you in 1 minute. Here we go. So follow along. Read your Bible. I'm saying follow along with me. Okay. So in the Old Testament, right, the priests with the Israelites, the priests were the only people who did not inherit any land. But the Most High said, here, 12 tribes of Israel, here's the land that I got for y'all. But your job is to make sure the priest is taken care of. They took care of the priest, and the priest offered up the sacrifice. The priest offered up, the lambs and the offerings and stuff. They tied a rope around them because the priest had to also live holy and be sanctified and be consecrated, right? So the scripture even says, bring the tithe into the storehouse so there will be what in my house? Help me preach, Andre. What does it say? Does it say bring the money in my house so there'll be money in my house? What does it say? What does it say, brother? Do you know? It says meat. It says meat. Bring the tithe in the storehouse so there will be meat in my house. Why? So that the priest could have to feed the poor and so that the priest would be taken care of. Fast forward in the New Testament, right? That's why Malachi says, where have you robbed thee? In tithes and offerings, because they were supposed to be doing what? Taking care of the priest. But what were they not doing? Taking care of the priest. So then we fast forward to the New Testament. I believe it's 1 Peter 2:9. It calls us a royal priesthood, a chosen people, right? A royal priesthood. When you come into the knowledge of the Most High and you are in a relationship with him, what are you now then? A priest. Your first ministry is what? Your household. Me and my cats. He right there. Your first ministry is your household. You are a priest.
So which is why we've said you are your own temple.
Yeah, so you can give your offering. If you feel that you should give an offering to your local church and that's what you do, that is in righteous order. But to teach that tithing is still a thing is totally wrong. That would, to me, it's the equivalent of teaching that we still got to do animal sacrifices. To do animal sacrifices a day, Andre, what would that be saying about Yahusha, the one they call Jesus Christ? What would that be saying about his sacrifice for us?
That it didn't mean nothing. Brandon ever said something. You taught me. No, them tithes, man, they will get you. And you taught me this in the past show. So you've said this before.
Yeah. And every, like, did it change your life? Did it revolutionize your life? Like, what, I mean, did you feel like I'm telling the truth? Like, what was your response to it? Because ultimately, I feel like the pandemic also showed us too that the churches were doing a lot of things just to get the money. You know what I mean? Like the churches wanted to open back up just to get the money because them tithes and offerings was low. They're like, we got to get the people in here because they're not giving, because they're at home. But what about because many of these churches, I wonder if you needed help, would they help you pay your rent, Andre? If you needed help, Everett, would they help you? They'd be like, are you even a member here? When is you haven't given? Let me look.
They got a sheet, honey. Like, okay, he only gave $100.
No, we can't pay for his rent. And obviously, let me be like Andre, let me be a peacemaker, let me be meek and say, not every church, but many of them, some of them, it's safe to say some of them, the ones I've been in.
Yes, the ones you've been in.
Yeah. So
you can confirm that one. Those are the ones you've been in.
Yeah. So I just want to say, I think that the church needs to step up to the plate on social justice. They need to be advocates for truth, justice. Like, how are these mercy? How are these things not, how can you be a believer, but you about that death penalty though?
Ever says it made sense, complete sense. I was already suspect of the church. These churches, that congregations that are struggling still want that family to tithe and look down on the family.
Yeah. As if, and it's crazy too, because they make you feel like you got to pay for the Most High's blessing. Like, because you gave, now the Most High is going to give to you. Like, that don't make sense to me.
But if I'm financially struggling, I still got to give. If money's tight and I just ain't got it.
Yeah. Then the church should be giving you something.
Oh no, honey, no.
But
I'm even trying to think back to, now mind you, this is the early 90s. I'm aging myself. This is in the early 90s, late 90s, where I wouldn't have even, in my mind, I'm already thinking like, no, there's no way that my church that I went to would have given money to my family. No, that's not happening. And if they did, honey, it's a loan. You got to pay that back, baby.
I will say this. I will say I have
My
also
church. I'm always speaking about the church I went to. I'm not speaking about all churches.
I will say I've been to churches where they did also help when I was growing up, like where my parents were struggling financially, and Deacon Slade put up in this big old station wagon with $100 and a car full of groceries. And so, but do I think that that's because my parents tithe? No. I think it's because, do I think it could be because my parents, I mean, I can't say it's not, I don't think that's the entire reason why. I think it's also because the Most High takes care of those, he takes care of his children, those in need.
Ooh, ever said something profound just now, Brandon? The Most High don't need cash. He don't even need credit. So why are people still give it?
See?
Ooh.
And I want to add to that, why are they being manipulated to give? And why do you need an entire mortgage? Why do you need a I asked my friend Pitt, who's in Atlanta. He was in Lithonia, Georgia. And I want to say that's where Creflo's Dollar Church is, somewhere around there. I know Eddie Long's church is over there, the late Eddie Long. Now, he said Lithonia is so hood now. And it's just like, you go to some of these churches and like, okay, you got a multi-million-dollar church, but why does the neighborhood look like this? And where's all the money at? And why would you put the Most High's people in debt like that? And then expect the people to hold you up and prop you up? Like you buy like the Most High told you to buy a multi-million-dollar building, and that all the people was gonna pay for your mortgage and your salary and your staff salary. Where does taking care of the poor fit in with that? Go ahead, Andre. I see the wheels turning.
Yeah, no. What I was doing while you were talking, I was looking up how far Lithonia was from Blackshear, because I grew up in Blackshear, Georgia. So I was just trying to see how far that was. It's 4 hours away, but I'm familiar with Lithonia because we had sister churches that were near Lithonia. So that's why I was thinking like Lithonia. I'm familiar with Lithonia.
Yeah.
We had a church. We had a church that we visited out there. Because now that I'm looking, it was Macon is in between Lithonia and Blackshear, Macon, Georgia. For those of you that know about Georgia, so I just wanted. That's all. It was just my wheels was turning because of that. Because I was like, I know about Lithonia now. Yeah. So, and then Everett says neighborhood rundown, church look like
Vegas. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess I'm just really tired of seeing that, and like things are changing in the world, things are shifting in the world, and I feel that things are going to get a whole lot worse. But I think that it's going to get better for those who are sheltered with the Almighty. Because and the reason why I'm sure of this fact is because how can we lead other people to Him if we're in the same boat? So the Most High has to make sure that we are taken care of. But guess what? We got to participate in that with Him. We got to obey. We got to watch how we spend. We got to watch what we buy. We got to watch what we love. You know what I'm saying? We have to watch who we love.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? We got to watch where we go. We got to submit ourselves to Him, so that way when these things do hit the fan, whether the economy or whatever.
Or should I say Taj Mahal?
Hey, you should.
Yes.
So when these things hit, whether it be coming financial crisis or whatever, which banks are preparing for right now, they're storing up money because millions of people ain't been able to pay their rent, and notice how we ain't talking about that. And notice how, guess what? It is a shame to me. I wish all the churches would come together and create health insurance companies, and just drown out all the for-profit insurance companies. I wish they would just come and take over. Like if the Catholic Church, Episcopal Church, Evangelical Church, right? Like, can the church first find something that we all agree on? Healthcare should be a living right. Well, all the churches in America, guess what? Will you give unto this? And we're about to start a healthcare company, and we are going to knock out Blue Cross Blue Shield. We're going to knock out everybody, and we'll make sure that everybody has health insurance in America. Like, how? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't the church do that? But the church is over here dividing people like the government. You got
divine folk.
Yeah, you got the pastor out here talking about it's the Democrats' fault. How though, man?
Don't come in here with a mask on.
He said, "I'm gonna kick you out."
I'm gonna kick you out. So I'm not invited in because I got my mask on and I'm protecting I'm protecting. Let's be specific here. I'm protecting my temple because I am my own temple. So this
You're
temple
right.
is coming to your building,
Mm-hmm.
and you're literally shutting me out because I'm protecting myself.
Yeah.
So what makes you think I want to get a word from you?
Yeah. And I can't believe he got that much money. He's so sure, ain't he? He got that much money. He got all the people's money, and he knows the manipulation. And you know what? Manipulation is the sin, and rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. So you manipulating people. That's the definition of witchcraft. What happened to us when we were growing up in church, being manipulated to give, and they play the music and they start singing, and then that's manipulation.
I
That's
knew the
witchcraft.
organ player, honey. The organ player was on point with his fine self. I had a crush on Caleb. Shout out to Caleb. Caleb was scrumptious back then. But yes, he would be there, and then the pastor would just say something that, and then here come the organ, and then be like, hallelujah, and all this stuff.
Yep.
And then boom, here we go.
Yep.
People just start throwing money at the altar.
Yep.
Before the buckets come out. I mean, it's like clockwork. It's like systematic. But
yes, and I got another nugget for y'all. Another reason why I don't like church. I believe it's 1 Corinthians 14 and 26. Those verses all the way down in that chapter tell you what a church service should look like. And I want to ask you, for anybody watching, if you've been to a church service, tell me when the last time. This is your homework. I'm kidding. When's the last time you've been to a church service like that, or have you ever? Because I can say it's been many years, maybe going to church with my granny when I was a kid, that I see a church service like that.
Can I ask you this question, Brandon?
Yeah,
For those that want to answer that question,
go ahead.
When was the last time you were actually in a church building to attend the service? And I'll answer after you. Oh. Oh.
Maybe 2017 or 18.
Ooh, you got me beat a little bit. So the last time for me was 2015. 2015, I went to church. That was the last time I went to church, was 2015. But that was a decent service. A decent service. It wasn't bad or anything like that. It was huge, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
2015 was the last time I was in Colorado, Fort Carson. 2015 was the last time, but I've not been since. So that's 6 years for me since I've been in the building.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you know, I like that you said church building, because we, the people, are the church, and it's about establishing your relationship with the Most High. And when I think about the disciples, do you know they were nomadic? Yahushua went in one place, the one they called Jesus. He was nomadic. He moved around. He had church outside like Kanye. Why do you think Kanye did that? On the grassy knoll and stuff.
Okay, I'm not even going. I don't even.
We don't have to, but I'm just saying. I was just giving an illustration.
Yes. Ever since, going back in the day with my granny and attended a service, 2010, while on the trail, and it moved me that day. So you want to know something interesting about what Everett just said? So Everett and I met in 2012, and I was going to church then heavily, and so I don't know if Everett, you went to, you're saying 2010, we met in 2012, but I was on the praise team and choir in 2012 in Camp Erev John at that chapel. So I don't know if you remember that chapel all the way to the barracks. Because your senior enlisted barracks was right next to the chapel. But yeah, if you remember that, or remember that chapel, that's where I went. So yeah, he says so he remembers. But I was in the church a lot. I was heavy in the church, doing my thing and everything, and then I don't know what happened. 2015. After 2015, I just was like, this ain't for me. Church building isn't.
Yes.
The Most High is still for me, but the church building was not.
Yeah, and I do think there's going to be some. I do feel like there is sort of a revival coming, but it ain't going to look like anything that's ever happened before. I think it's going to be different. And I have known that a lot of people all over the world started meeting in houses. I feel like that's where the thing is going. It's safer, you know what I mean? Because you got pastors like, hey, don't wear your mask up in here. It's safer. And then too, I think church as we know it in America, it's not enough. Like, you're not living life out with people. The pastor has his crew, right? It's always the crew. They have their squad, and that squad rolls with the pastor, and they probably have a relationship with the pastor and stuff. But then everybody else is just, you just attend. You know what I'm saying? You ain't part of the squad. You ain't down. You just attend, and so you're not really connected to anyone, and you're not living life out with anyone. The disciples rolled out 2 by 2. So if you're not living life out, you're not studying the scripture with people. That's why a lot of churches, it's interesting. I will say I will say the positive things about church buildings, gatherings, ecclesia, if we want to get all scriptural stuff, right? So the ecclesias, they a lot of them started having home Bible studies where they would have a particular person lead the Bible study and stuff like that. And everybody would meet in the homes. A lot of churches started doing that. And I do find it interesting, the timing of it all. This was probably 2015 or so. It was like the hot thing for most churches to do. A lot of people call them life groups. So they would have their life groups in the church because they knew that, you know what, this is about discipleship and we need to help people live these things out. And they need more than just coming 1 day a week or 2 days a week, or if you're Pentecostal, 10 days a week. Andre didn't hear what I said.
Mm-hmm.
If you Pentecostal, you go into church every day of the week.
Yes.
Yes.
I was in a non-denominational church growing up, but it wasn't every day, but it was, you just about felt like it was every day that I was in the church doing something. And ever since, houses are better, you can still receive the word and fellowship, but more importantly, you find yourself not pressured financially. Come on, Everett. And what I was saying earlier was, as far as the everyday going to church. So let me give y'all a quick rundown because we've been on for almost an hour and a half, so we're gonna let y'all go in a little bit. Okay. But what the way my church services went, we went to church. So I'm gonna start from Sunday to Sunday. So Sunday, go to church. And there's I think they had like the 9 o'clock service and then the 11 o'clock service. Yeah, 2 services. So that's how it was. So I mean, my voice was gone because I was in the choir and played praise team. I joined the praise team when I was 14, but I was in the children's choir at 12, and then I went down to the grown-up choir by 14 because they said Andre can sing, so we going to put him in with the adults. So I'm a 14-year-old was singing with the adults. And Sasha says it don't feel like it's been an hour. It's been over an hour. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, once I got to the adult choir, so that's Sunday, so there's 2 services on Sunday. Then on Tuesday, we had choir rehearsal. So we only had Monday off. Starsha says, yes, you can sing. Oh, Starsha may have heard me sing in Kuwait. Starsha,
I ain't never heard him. I'm sad.
Oh, Starsha may have heard me sing in Kuwait, the national anthem and stuff. She may have heard me sing, or in the church. But Brandon, I'll sing for you. Starsha said all the time. So Tuesday would have choir rehearsal. Wednesday would be midnight. The Wednesday midweek service. So you have a Wednesday night service. It's at 7:30. Then Thursday choir rehearsal again. Ever said she ain't lying. You got pipes, sir.
Pipes, sir. Okay.
So yeah, they've heard me sing. Okay, so then Thursday there was choir rehearsal again. So then Friday we had nothing going on. Saturday we had choir rehearsal again. Saturday, and then Sunday service. So literally Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday was something dealing with the church at my church.
That's a lot.
So Sunday service, Tuesday choir rehearsal, Wednesday service, Thursday choir rehearsal, Friday nothing, then Saturday choir rehearsal, then Sunday church.
That's a part-time job.
Yes. It is. Ever said, just take the compliment, sir. Yes, thank you.
You should take it as a compliment.
I appreciate it. I guess I just didn't remember if they've heard me sing, but I do appreciate the compliment. I don't brag about my singing voice. I don't really show off, and I don't sing a lot. But I got you, Brandon. I'll make sure I sing for you so you can feel the anointing.
Hallelujah. But I want to tell you something though, because I just had a flashback. So y'all, when I first met Andre in EOA school, the prophetic, was just moving. I was like, Andre, you can sing. You sing, don't you?
And my face was like, and it was only the first 5 minutes. Well, no, first 10 minutes in, we were talking deep about some other stuff. And then I brought up the church for some reason. And then he said, he said, "Can you sing, huh?" And I was like, how you know my business? Excuse me. And I mean, I think we instantly connected after that. After the whole, you asked me if I sung, or you just said, you sing, do you? Our connection was close. Now, we weren't close as much at EO school just because, different time, different place, different environment. But
and different groups, like we were in our groups.
Yeah, we were in different groups, unfortunately, because I think if we were in the same group, we probably would have instantly connected, and then they probably would have had to separate us because that's two powerful people and anointed people in one room. So they would probably have to separate us, and we would never be do a class together. We couldn't do a TED talk together. We couldn't do the Yomi talk together. We couldn't do no. They'd be like, Star Island and Star Brooks cannot be together. But after graduation and when COVID hit, we really got closer. And it's sad because I don't even talk to the folks that were in my actual class anymore. Everett said, but you don't do well with receiving, and you should. Yes, I do have a hard time receiving compliments. I think it's more so in regards to my singing. I think everything else I could take a compliment, but I don't even want to say that I'm humble with singing. I feel like I'm shy, I guess. I'm shy. Not that I'm humble, because then I don't want to be that person, but I feel like I'm a little shy with it. But thank you. See, Sasha says, because I'm not shy with anything else. But when it comes to singing, especially when I'm singing about the Lord, yes, I'm very shy about that. And I want to ensure that when I am singing, I am blessing someone when I'm singing. Oh, Sasha said it's not just with singing. Oh, please enlighten me, girl. What else is it that I'm shy with? But I know with singing in particular, I'm very shy. Like I know Brandon for a year and a half almost, and I have not sung for him. So I will bless Brandon's ears eventually with a song. And I have a full powerhouse voice. I'm a powerhouse singer. I'm not
from your diaphragm,
yeah,
from your belly.
Diaphragm. Yeah, I don't sing light and airy. I sing full. So yeah. Oh, Starter says I don't take compliments like I should. Ooh, I'm being put on blast on the live.
Hey, I like this. You getting healed. Healing, touch, Lord. Hallelujah.
I don't know what that means. I don't know why I don't. And I agree with you, Sasha. I don't. I really don't. I think that's what I'm discovering with myself. I'm very quick to give compliments. I'm very quick to be like letting you know how you're on point and how you're good. But when it comes to me, I'm just like, are you sure? Like, really? I am. Yeah, I don't take compliments like I should because I guess I'm so busy giving them that I don't really take them well. He said, I can write right now because I'm done with my niece's hair. Also, she was listening to us while doing her niece's hair. Also, now she type it. Because between her and Everett, they read me right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that's good. That's good though. Like they know you and, and yeah, I think I probably could see that some. but you definitely, I'm sure you will work on that now.
I am. I'm working on it daily. This whole like working on myself, loving on myself more, and really tuning into what I like to do for myself. That's all in that growth process. Oh, Porter says we love you. I love y'all too so much. Y'all have been great to me for the long, almost decade that I've known y'all. So I appreciate it. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I feel like we went in.
We did.
And I think we're ready for the benediction.
Ever since I will get deep on you, but I will not. I will say that from my perspective, but I will just say that you condition yourself not to accept them. I have. No, I have. I think now that you say that, I think I know why. Now I think I'm discovering why I haven't.
Hallelujah! He getting free tonight, y'all.
Hallelujah!
Didn't I just prophesy? The scriptures say, "And you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free."
So I think that I have not accepted those compliments because of how I grew up with not having my family really accept my sexuality. So I feel like when I get compliments, I'm not saying that they are not genuine, but it's hard for me to accept them because I wanted acceptance in other areas of my life that weren't fulfilled. So when I get a compliment, I'm like, whoa, hold on, you sure? That's what I think it is. That's what maybe that makes sense. I don't know. And Everett said, sit on my couch, sir. Yes. I need to come visit you and sit on your couch, Everett.
Or should I say lay on the couch? You lay back with your arms crossed. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's what it is. I think that I wanted acceptance in other areas. So I wanted compliments in other parts of me, but I was so ridiculed as a child for being gay that anytime somebody give me a compliment, I guess it was like that defense mechanism to be like, even though that's subconsciously, not consciously, because consciously I'm thinking like, I think I accept compliments, but no, I condition myself not to accept them. So you just gave me a revelation. Thank you, Evan.
Should we play shouting music right now? Yeah. No, that is wonderful. And that's the beauty of knowing people and being authentically you, is that you're never living alone. And when the moment is right, and if you set the stage to invite that in your life, I think that's the celebration of what the Vibe Show, or why the Vibe Show exists in the first place. If you create that kind of setting in your life, then people will be able to help you get free and see the things that you don't see, and help you see them, and then you'll be able to take the necessary steps you need.
Yep. Everett says you immediately look for the negative that must be coming to the point. If you do not get it, you come up with one yourself, and I am done. It's so true, though. That is a very good analysis of me. That is me. I look for the negative because I've gotten the negative aspects of me in my childhood. So I've been ingrained and conditioned to only see that with myself, which is why I'm on this self-love journey that I have announced so many times. Starsha said, boop. Yeah, that's a boop. No, it is a boop. That is a big old boop. Okay, because it's true. I that's why I'm not dating anyone. That's why I'm not on any dating apps. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm an NCO, not a sergeant. Exactly. I totally agree with that. But yeah, that's the reason why I'm on this. I'm not dating anyone. I'm really looking within myself, because how can I give somebody else love when there's some internal work that I need for myself? There's no, I don't have any to give at this current moment, but I know that once I fully get to that place where I need to be, then I'll be back out there getting me a boo. But right now, it ain't happening right now.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank y'all for the feedback, even though I got my rights.
Yeah, they came for your life, but they gathered you in a righteous way.
Yes, in a righteous way, an uplifted, edified way.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the best way to be gathered.
It's the sweetest way to be gathered, honey.
Sweeter than a honey in a honeycomb.
Right. Ever said sorry for that. No need to apologize for that, Ever. It's completely fine. I'm a big boy, so it's all good. It's all in growth for me and evolving. So it's all good.
Yeah, hopefully I found a boo, y'all. I hope
I know you gonna set it on the lab.
I didn't know I was either, but since we going there, you know, and we kind of at the after party now. I mean, we
Carlson and
yeah, we done with that. Look, I even took it off the thing. Look, see? Yeah, y'all. I hope I found a boo. Yeah, he's an amazing person. At least he's an amazing human. And if he's not gonna be my boo, guess what? Then the Most High got something better for me, and I can celebrate that. You know what I'm saying? But when I tell y'all he is an amazing human, I really feel like he's an amazing human. I'll just leave it at that for now.
And I'll say this, and I'm putting it out there. I look forward to meeting this individual when I come out there.
Yeah.
So I get dibs on meeting him. I am excited for him. I love the spirit of this individual. You know, Brandon be sending me screenshots of how the conversations, which are so genuine and sweet. So for me, I'm like, hey, do you? And I'm happy for him, and we're gonna see. We're really gonna see. But I have a good feeling. But you know, just like Brandon said, if that ain't the one, if he's not the one, he's fine with that. But this looks promising, and I don't really say that. I don't say that. I'm very slow to say stuff like that. So, but this looks promising, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Thank you, Everett. Yeah.
Congrats and blessings. Yeah.
And you know what I think is the most blessed piece is that, like, I don't need anybody. I'm content. And so the timing of all of this just, you know, it just makes me feel really good. It gives me something to celebrate in the midst of, you know, going through other stuff. Cause you know, I always got drama with work. And it don't be drama like I'm starting drama. It'd be like drama, like spiritual warfare drama. So
I feel like that's the most intense kind, the spiritual warfare drama.
Yeah, it ain't no, you know, I got drama, I don't like people kind of drama. No, it'd be like spiritual warfare, like kind of drama. And so, yeah. So it's like the timing of it all. And I hope that it is something, because dating is for the birds. And you know what I'm saying? Like being vulnerable to people, but then you don't know if it's gonna be something. And then like you like, it's complicated. That's what I will say. You know, like with this person, it's not complicated. It feels just, and I just be thinking stuff and then it be happening.
That's like, the difference. That's the difference.
I'm like, I hope I'm like, I prayed that his family would ask about me. Then I get a text. My family's excited to hear about you. Like
win-win. It's a win-win.
Yeah. Like
I'm so excited.
I'm like, I wish I'm like, I want him to like text me a little more. Then I get a text message from him. It's like, oh my gosh, like we on the same. I'm like, you hear my spirit though? You can hear me way over there. But yeah, so ain't no telling what it will be. Time will tell. And I'm at peace. And I think that's that kind of lets me know that I'm seeking somebody of my caliber, because if I was feeling uneasy about it, or, you know, or having reservations, I would say since I've been divorced, he's the first person that I have not had reservations about. Everyone else I have had reservations and let that die off. You know, I ain't ghost them, but I let it, you know, when it just die, it just fade to black. So since we're in the after party, is there anything, you know, before we get ready to go that y'all want to talk about?
Anything on y'all mind that, you know, you want us to brush on? I mean, because we did go on live a little earlier, so it's not late. It's only 8:45. It ain't even that late. So I think that we're gonna move towards 7 p.m. on Thursday nights.
I like it.
This is a little bit more time to converse with you all and all that, and talk about various topics. And what I'll also say, if y'all do have something, let us know in the comments. But so Brandon, Do you want me to announce what we're going to talk about Sunday?
Sure.
Or wait, because we know we don't have the graphic for it because it was last minute.
I feel like you can. I feel like you can.
I can't, and then we'll just promote it. We'll just we'll have the event created tomorrow for y'all. Like we'll have maybe even tonight. We'll just create if we have a graphic tonight or if we have it tomorrow, we'll post it tomorrow. But we are gonna have an episode on Sunday. We went on at was it 3 o'clock that we went on that one Sunday, or was it 1? No, it was 1. I think it was like 1 p.m. We went on and get that couch therapy. He didn't get that couch therapy. Yeah. So yeah, I think it was 1 o'clock. We have to go back into the archives and see what time we went on. But anyway, we're not gonna go on at 8 p.m. on Sunday. We're gonna go on in the afternoon hours on Sunday because
What time do you think? Like 3?
2? Between 1 and 3. I felt like it was in between 1 and 3 p.m. But I want to say it was 3 or 4. It could have been 3 or 4. But I want to say 3. I want to say 3 p.m.
Okay.
On Sunday.
Okay, let's do 3 then.
Let's do 3 Sunday. So I'll go ahead and announce the top of the I don't have the title of the topic, but I am gonna now I don't know if y'all noticed our format has changed for how we start the show. So when we start the show, as y'all noticed, Ever said don't do Brandon like that, but I asked reading him.
But I am reading him.
Reading him. So the format that y'all are used to is us coming on and then doing the whole 30-second. But now all future shows are gonna have the video, the YouTube video that we're gonna that's gonna kind of cover the topic we're gonna discuss, and then we bring you into the show, because we kind of like that format where y'all get to see what we are gonna talk about, have a visual of what we're gonna talk about, and then us talk about it. Ever said Brandon can get the couch work too. So that is the format that we're going to be using. So the topic, I don't have the title yet. I'm gonna marinate on that title some more, but I'm going to be talking about trans athletes. I have some information already. I already have it. I haven't done my notes yet, but I've already found the interview that took place with a doctor in reference to the struggle that trans athletes are going through. It was a special request from one of our followers on the Biblical show that they wanted us to talk about trans athletes and some of the things that they're facing in reference to. And I think it's very deep, and the information I got is profound. But so just be prepared for that conversation. And we would like your perspective on transgender athletes that are, competing in these sports and stuff like that.
I'm gonna be excited to learn, because I'm like, when that topic, I'm like, whoa.
Ever said, walk yourself with that topic, 3000. This could be very controversial. So that's the reason why on Sunday. So just to answer that, and just to make you feel good and comfortable, this topic is good. But what I will say is that the Sunday shows, I give strictly academia. So yes, I may provide a little bit of my own perspective to it, but any topic that is done on Sunday is straight up coming from the doctor's mouth. This is the science behind trans athletes. So this is not me just covering a story of someone and then like, oh, well, here's what I think of it. This is the academic. This is the science behind the trans. Because I definitely don't want to talk about this kind of topic and just be going off of what I think or feel. This is straight up science. So
but believe you me, Everett is still right. It's controversial.
It is controversial.
But just like tonight was, and we're not going to shy away from the controversial things. I think it's controversial to do what we're doing. Anyway,
what we did tonight was controversial. Talking about Tucker Carlson,
talking about the vaccine, talking about and our the whole show been, since we started, been controversial. Season 1, we was.
Ooh.
I was scared of myself in season 1. Hey, look, we was fresh out of Diomi with all that knowledge, and just
Ooh, we was cutthroat in season 1. We now moving into season 3 because we were about to be in season 2 soon, but yeah, season 3 we won't be as crazy as we was in season 1. We kind of turned up in season 2 as well, but season 1 was just woo. But
I think, and,
it's
it shows growth, and it shows growth, and we do have to be somewhat of, I mean, as the Most High would have us, He told us to seek peace with all men. We do have to be sort of peacemakers and be advocates for dignity and respect, not just on our job, but that's what we do in our life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, see, Everett is ready for this conversation.
Will you also address the females with too much testosterone? Yes, Everett. I have information from the doctor that discusses all this. So it's good information. I haven't written down my notes yet. I just listened to the interview and listened to or read the article. I just haven't done my notes yet. But yeah, it talks about that. So this is the science, and this doctor here. He's educated, so because I wanted to make sure it was from a very good, reputable source, and this is academia. Me as creative director, I do my best in diversifying what we talk about, and with the reason why I wanted to Adam, my friend Adam, wanted to talk about this is because he's been seeing a lot of different things about trans athletes, and he kind of wants to see what we talk about when it comes to this. So yes, Everett, this is controversial. Yes, very controversial. But like Brandon said, we go in the weeds. We do our best to try to be as diplomatic as possible, and not be so combative with our controversial stuff. But yeah, I know this is gonna be controversial, but we got it. We'll be good.
We'll navigate it.
We'll navigate through it smoothly.
I think that's the best way to describe season 1 to now, like all the shows we've done. Like, I think now we present it in a less, I mean, we could be seen as hostile before, and now we present it in such more, in more of a informational kind of way and an edifying way.
Yeah.
I don't know if we had uplift and edify in season 1.
Yeah, we did uplift and edify, but we didn't really uplift and edify. We was going ham just due to George Floyd and the Ahmaud Arbery. I mean, we rest in peace to all of them, but we were going in. I mean, Breonna Taylor, like it was just combative level 1 go. It was we was going in, but I mean, we still have our blips and moments where we kind of still go in a little bit, but they're a little bit more tailored now.
Yeah.
I know I got to work on now blasting people's names out there. I got because I've been name dropping people on accident, like so. I just name dropped Victor and Angela, my brother-in-law and sister. But I mean, it was not nothing bad that I said about it. It was just about tithes and offerings and how all of us were manipulated in the church. That church we went to, because both of them don't go to church. They stopped going to church. Victor and Angela, they praise and worship the Lord in their home. I had a good time with Angela. Angela gave me a lot of things, and I was like, okay, they're not focused on the church. They're not going to church. They're not. Their eyes are starting to open.
Yeah.
About like what church really stands for and things like that. So they're not in a church building either. So me talking about them, they wouldn't be like upset, like, let me talk about us, because it was true. Eric says that them are not accidents. That was your spirit needing to be heard. Ooh.
Everett, what you been eating?
Right, Everett.
He been fasting and praying.
Listen, Everett, if Everett keep on doing this, we're going to bring him on as a special guest so we can see your face. Because you over here bringing gems. You over here slapping us.
Yeah.
You slapping us over here. You slapped me multiple times tonight. Okay. My goodness.
And we can always bring Starsha back too.
And we can bring both at the same time because they know each other. So we can bring, so Everett don't feel like he the only guest. We could bring Starsha and Everett on, and it'll be more people on the screen chit chatting. So Starsha said that would be awesome. So Starsha's already down. So
see,
that was easy. Is put on your best shirt, your best, look, and come on and be a special guest because you be dropping gems now.
Or he could be playing like you.
Or he could be playing like me. Because I'm cute in my playing.
See?
Who
gonna check me? Mm-hmm.
He said that would be awesome. Was really typing when she said that.
Mm-hmm.
Was already typing when she said that. Yeah. Yeah. We can set that up in the very near future, y'all, to bring y'all on, because that would be good. That would be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe ever said that was a dig. It was a dig. He dug on me. He's trying to say that, I'm playing, but I'm embracing my playing, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not colorful in that everything shirt that Brandon got on. A part of me one day wants to surprise y'all and just come on the show with a bold shirt to be like, me and Brandon could be bold together. Like I'm gonna go to Zara and all these places Brandon be shopping to get me a cute shirt and then just come on the show. So I'm gonna come with it. I'm gonna come with it too sometimes to surprise y'all. Cause I'll be looking plain Jane, but
it works.
It works for me though. That's all right. So
yeah,
y'all. So I guess
really
that's it. We're almost on for 2 hours.
I know.
I guess y'all don't have nothing y'all want to talk about.
I feel special that he just listen to us ramble and stuff.
I know. Starsha and Everett and forever other whoever else is on that's just watching. Thank you for listening too. It's not the package, but the content.
They were just preaching tonight.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. We got to bring him on. We got to bring him on.
He need to write the prayer and I just read it. He need to come on and give them.
I'm just saying, Simone Biles. Ooh, see, do you know about Simone Biles, bro? Yeah, that would be a good topic to discuss too. In reference to, I feel I'm really proud of Nate. Well, I'm not speaking about the other female, but I'm proud of Simone Biles because Naomi Osaka is the one that really came through and shout out to her in tennis when she said, "I'm not doing any press because y'all ain't stressing me out," and she's an introvert and all that stuff. So I feel that when it comes to mental health, I think that Simone Biles probably looked at somebody like, and they're in the same age range, and was like, wait, if Naomi Osaka is saying I ain't doing no press, and she did have to pay $10,000 or $15,000 because there's a fine that you have to pay if you don't do press after a match. And I think Simone was like, I'm about to join that bandwagon and be like, I'm not going to be competing. I need to work on my mental health. And then when she revealed what it was, I was like, wow. All because something as simple as, well, I don't even want to call it simple, but she made a statement saying, oh, like, the whole fact of like no audience. She performs better with an audience. So being that it was very quiet in there when she was, it was not a whole lot of people in the stadium at the time, that can affect how she performs. And she mentioned that. That was one of the most profound things that she said, was that like part of the reason why she was hesitant and nervous about competing is because there was no audience and cheers, none of that. So that was her positive distraction to perform and give a good performance. But I thought that was profound when she said that. But yeah, she said, I'm not competing. And I think, and I hate to say this, but I got Facebook friends out here mad that she skipped out on competing, saying you got a job to do, you get paid to do this. And I'm just thinking like, so you have the nerve to say that, but you're not her. You don't have the weight of the United States of America on your shoulder. She's in the U.S. Olympics. She's really representing what you're complaining about. She's representing you.
She got more medals than anybody.
She's got the most medals out of anybody.
So
well, actually, the most decorated is Michael Phelps, but she's the most. Michael Phelps has the most.
No, I thought she does.
I think he's the most decorated.
Oh.
He's the most decorated, period, but she's the most as far as a gymnast.
Okay.
The gymnast category, she's the most. Okay. But Michael Phelps has the most, like, overall, like, like everybody. And even Michael Phelps even talked about how he had to, he asked the question, do they get paid? Never. I knew that it got something, but not sure what it is. So they don't. So to my knowledge, I don't think they get paid, but they do get paid by their endorsement deals. No, not sure if they get paid for the actual Olympics, the sport itself. I want to say they don't. But the endorsement deals, of course, they do get endorsement deals, and they get plethora of money from that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you get paid when like Nike endorse you or Adidas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You get your
When you,
coin.
when
That
you
way.
get on that Wheaties box.
The Wheaties box and the whatever CoverGirl, L'Oreal,
Mm-hmm.
Maybelline, that's where you get your money. But I don't think that they get paid.
I am a big advocate for mental health. I think it's something that, I think this is what I've been exploring. I think that we are all indigenous people. And I've just been exploring that. And to live in the Western way is to go against your very nature. Like whenever next time when you're watching TV, look at how work never fits in.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't had no job. They're not working. I mean, they're on the movie, so that's their job. They're working. But I'm saying, like, look at TV shows. They ain't working. And when they do have a job, let's say like the husbands and the FBI and the wife and all that, they always cheating. They always going through divorce. It's all, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Because like the Western way of living and the way we make money here, they don't even do that in the UK. They don't do that nowhere else.
Nowhere
They
else.
get paid time off. You know what I'm saying? In the UK, you take a break, then come back to work, finish your work, and you go out for a drink, and then come back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Then that is then that is endorsements. They get that for being who they are already, and then they go to the Olympics. Everybody, Tommy from our.
Hey, Tom, you ain't got no job.
So I mean, I guess that is their income. Their income comes from their endorsements only, but I don't think it comes from actually going because they get publicity from being in the U.S. Olympics. So I don't think they get paid for that. So yeah.
That I'm gonna look that up too because I'm not sure.
No, I'm looking it up now. Oh, they
Oh.
do. It ain't a lot though. So I just looked it up, y'all. It says Olympians earn $37,000 for each gold medal, $22,000 for a silver medal, and $15,000 for a bronze medal.
So if you got
I guess if you
13
don't win,
gold medals, how much is that? That's a lot.
but I'm just saying they only get that's all they get. But so the endorsement deals, they get their
Mm-hmm.
the endorsement deals. Shoot, I mean, that's where the money is at though. Then, because Simone Biles, and which is interesting to see. But do you know Simone Biles' net worth is $90 million?
Mm.
90 million.
And those that represent and don't place, I don't know. I don't think they get anything. That's what Everett is saying.
Yeah, and those that represent don't place.
I don't think they get anything. You get a ticket home.
I think they pay for your flight. I mean, they pay for. I think they pay for the logistics of it and the hotel. I mean, come on, at least do that.
Yeah.
And no, I was wrong. Her net worth is $6 million. Sorry.
How much?
6.
6 million?
6. The 90 million was wrong. Sorry.
That's still a lot.
And it may go up to 10. It's looking like it'll go up. I should put my butt to the gym.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, imagine that. Like sometimes, okay, that just took me to something. Like I just went 2 things. A lot of these Olympians started training when they were young. And sometimes I think about something.
14. Simone Biles was 14 when she started. Now she's 24.
See? So sometimes they even start younger than that, but that's a good age. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like it makes me think about a couple things. It makes me think about what Andre said earlier and how they was reading you about the way that you achieve compliments. Like where would you be if you grew up in a loving home? The person that I pray that, the Most High would make him my boo. Like he grew up in a loving home. He was 12 when his parents had the birds and the bees conversation with him.
So beautiful. And I was 12 when I was ridiculed for pray the gay away stuff.
And when I think about what he's accomplished he'll be 32. When I think about what he's accomplished, I'm like, wow.
That's 20 years later, and here he is.
Yeah. And it's like the power that parents have. to or legal guardians or parental roles that they have to help shape and mold another human is very impactful. And some people don't heal from the childhood trauma or situations. You
And
know?
I'm working on healing. That's what I'm working on now. That's the reason why I'm single and the reason why I'm not on dating apps. The reason why I'm just focusing on me, because there's damage there. You know, I know I present a happy-go-lucky, and I'm not saying I'm depressed or anything, but I know I present this loving person that's driven, and I mean, I have a lot that I can say for myself. Yes, there's still that internal damage from my childhood that I'm working and piecing my way through. I cannot even blame really my adulthood on why I'm at where I'm at. It's really my childhood. I'm a product of my childhood, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think the thing is too, we have to be okay. I'm gonna speak for myself. I had to be okay with not getting apologies from people who inflicted that damage that I still wanted the relationship with. Because if I still want the relationship, then I need to be okay. You know what I'm saying? I need to know that I don't need their apology, that the relationship with these people in particular that I'm talking about, I wanted the relationship. So I had to know that.
Ever says you are not fooling nobody that actually sees you. Yes.
But what I think too is this is I feel like I want to edify you a little bit and say it's on a deeper spiritual level. Like you have to be in a certain place to recognize these things. And that the average person ain't connected to the Most High, and then or they don't have this spiritual gift, you're not going to see all of that. You ain't gonna be able to call it out like that. So
well, I mean, even for me, I'm a work in progress too, and I know I have a very tight relationship with the Most High.
yeah.
But I feel that for me, I'm able to recognize it and own up to that first step to grow, is admitting it and not trying to deny it. Like that, if you know, that would be me denying everything that you're saying about me and that Starsha was saying. I don't know how to take a compliment. I'm working on it, but I got to work on those things. And in order for me to work on those things, I have to do my work. Speaking for self, I have to do what needs to be done for me in order to be ready for someone else to enter into my life. I'm not in the space to have anyone in my life at this current moment, but that doesn't mean that in the future that it's just that it won't happen. It's just not now. And I'm fine with that. Because you know, I have friends like you are, you know, you're good looking, you have a great smile. Now you can sing like Everett said. You successful with education and you're a freaking song first class in the army and you're close to retirement. You name it, all these great things, but that don't mean nothing. There's internal work I gotta do. And I'm evolving every day. Sometimes hearing it from someone else gives you permission to be in that space with yourself and allow others into your heart. Exactly. So this is what I'm doing. I'm allowing someone else to let me know about myself, which is the reads y'all gave me. So then whenever I'm ready to have someone in my life, that's my partner, whoever that may be, and I'll be good. Then I'll be ready to embark on that new journey.
Yeah. When you get up out of Fort Knox.
When I leave Fort Knox, yes. When I get out of Louisville. So I ain't looking for no man here in Fort Knox. By the way, y'all, I am PCSing next year, April. Y'all pray for me. I want to go to Fort Meade, Maryland. I was gonna tell you this, Starsha, if you're still on. I was gonna call you and tell you this, but I'm hoping I get Fort Meade. I think I may have told Starsha this. I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyway, yes, trying to go to Fort Meade. So I'm just praying that I get that place because, you know, Brandon's like an hour away from me when I get there, and then my bestie Georgie is an hour in DC. So I'm trying to get. Starsha said I've been waiting. So yes, I haven't called you yet, so that's why. But yeah, I'm trying to go to Meade. That was my number one choice. Okay, for me. And then ever said they still have mullets at Fort Knox. Ooh. Yeah, they still have mullets at Fort Knox.
and missing teeth.
Yeah, they do. That's why I can't go to no restaurant in Radcliffe. Like it's very terrible there. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, no.
The men folk. Everett said the men folk.
The men folk, yes, the men folk. Yeah. They're still very prevalent over there. Yes.
Well, I'm actually getting tired, y'all. I'm tired. I'm ready to lay my burdens down.
I have Dietrich.
Dietrich.
Oh, Dietrich. Okay, Dietrich. Oh, Dietrich. Is that Maryland? Oh, Dietrich is in Maryland. What? Okay, so you got 4 Dietrich at your number 1. Well, I hope you get it, girl. Because if I get me, then we'll be in the same.
Yeah,
Starship
right here
forever. So we're hoping. She was supposed to come to Knox, but that fell through. That's why she's where she's at now. It would have been good if she came to Knox, because then me and her would have actually had the same amount of time together and on Knox. We would have been PCSing together from Knox to go somewhere else. Keith says I'm pulling for her 3rd choice though. Keith, that's Starship's husband. Hey Keith. No, we ain't heard from Keith all night. He probably had homework.
And what's the 3rd choice?
What's the 3rd choice, Keith? Now I'm nosy. I want to know.
I want to know too.
My 2nd and 3rd choice was Jackson was my 2nd choice, because I don't mind going to Jackson, because just do the positions over there. And then what was my 3rd one? I don't remember my 3rd one right now. I don't remember. But my mind is on Meade, so that's where I'm trying to go. Netherlands.
Hey.
Oh. Yeah, Keith said he got caught up in Yellowstone. Didn't know the first episode was like almost 2 hours. Dang. Oh, you was watching a show. Oh, you was deep in that show then. Okay.
Not our show. I'm mad. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Keith, you're gonna have to go back and watch it after we done so you can see what we was talking about.
Yeah, because it was controversial. I bet he would have had some good input.
Keith would have had some amazing input. I was actually kind of hoping Keith was going to be with us while we were talking about Tucker Carlson and Dr. Malone, but
yeah, I was amped up. I had stopped the video we
10 times.
We made it 1 minute, and we were about 20 minutes on.
20 minutes in. Well, don't be trying to say we. You had control of the stop and play. Don't be you pull that YouTube video. I'm over here just like, okay, he gonna pause because his eyes kept getting big. He was like, boop, pause, boop, pause, boop. I'm just like, we're not gonna go through the whole thing,
right? Oh, he never.
I never get notifications for the show. You may have to turn them on, Keith. Yours may be off automatically. So I guess if you go to our page and click, there's a part on the top of the page where you click to turn on notifications. Because I think for most, if you have it already preset on your phone to not get notified about lives, then anything you follow you won't get a notification. So just to put that out, there's like a little bell or something near the front of the page where you just bloop, and then it'll turn on your notifications in the future.
Okay.
And Brandon be on it with the quotes. Okay, that'd be Brandon posting them amazing quotes on the show.
What you mean? On the page?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my whole feed is all these amazing quotes now. You know what my whole Facebook feed is now? Amazing quotes and beautiful houses that are just all over the world. I said houses one time, and now I talked about buying a house on the phone, and now all they show me is these beautiful houses all around the world.
Keith said, I'll have Starship fix it for me. I can fix most things and know most things, but not when it comes to social media. It's okay. That is completely fine. Starship square you away. But yeah, that's a way to know we come on. If you already have it preset, you're going to have to just manually cut it on.
Well, we love y'all, and I guess I better
Yeah.
pray because Starsha said done, so she fixed it already.
Okay, so she did it. See, boop.
Because I don't want Everett to be mad at me.
She got the. She know. She come. She know. She come on.
Yeah. So bow your heads and close your eyes. I mean, you keep your eyes open. Sometimes I do too.
No, I'm gonna close my eyes. Since,
Okay, close your eyes. Close them. They closed? Oh, your eyes
Yeah.
closed. Okay. Father, we thank you for this show that you gave us the idea to do. I'm so glad that we are doing this and continue to do it. And I thank you for the people that tune in and watch and support us and who constantly show up and provide input. We thank you for giving us the idea to uplift and edify your people and to bring information that they may not know and broaden our horizons so we can be better humans overall. And I pray that you would help us love humans better in the world and that we would be peacemakers even in the midst of trials and tribulation that you told us that we would surely experience in this world, particularly when we want to be righteous and when we want to live by the code or live how you would have us to live. We ask you to keep us healthy, to bless us, we ask you to cover our families and our friends around the world. We pray that anyone who is sick for their healing, and we pray that people would have mental clarity on what they should do and where they should go. And, the people who will be PCSing, we just ask that you direct their path in the way that they should go. And we ask that you would be with us when we rest and to cause peace to be multiplied and your grace to be multiplied unto us. And we ask all these things in the mighty name of Yahusha. Amen.
And amen.
And amen. And amen again. And Everett said he will take the blame. Yes.
Oh, for how long we've been on, or
the prayer.
Oh, the prayer. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want him to be mad at me. I love to pray. I don't mind praying at any time. And I'm Everett, I'm glad that you asked me to do that. So, but I mean, that's all I got. And I think I'm getting tired now. Can you tell my voice is just like,
Yeah, it went from like crunk and lit to monotone.
Yes. I mean, I started out, I'm laughing at myself. I might watch this back so I can laugh at myself and how I was looking and how we started the show.
I'm telling you, the first 30 minutes was entertaining because you kept pausing. I'm just like, oh, Lord, we never going to get to the end of the 2 minutes.
It's 20 minutes on a 1 minute video to get. But yeah, but that's why I had to play it all through again. And, so it would make sense. But yeah, I hope everyone learned something. I did learn some things as I was going through this week. And I still wish that. And to add to my prayer, I pray that Robert Malone gets a call from all these other networks to go and talk because he need to be out there.
And then another thing that I'll say too, real quick, is that it's nothing wrong with bringing someone that goes against the narrative of that network, because then that can bring open dialogue. So the people on the show, the host of the show, can try to counter it and then ask questions to be inquisitive. So you don't have to bring everybody that you agree with on the show. It makes it boring. That's why you have different, like on The View. Let's be specific. Meghan McCain is a conservative, and you got Sonny and Joy, who are the left, and then you got Sarah Haynes, who's centrist and moderate, and then you got Whoopi Goldberg as moderator. So bring someone like Dr. Malone on.
Let's be real. Meghan McCain is ridiculous.
Well, Meghan McCain is leaving. She's not. She's leaving.
Bye, girl.
Bye, girl. Bye, Meghan. They need to bring a conservative that got some sense.
Yes.
Because Meghan don't have none.
Yes.
But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. Because we just played. So
we did. So that means we need to be getting off. Good night. Because we finna start up again. See, I done caught my second win. Hallelujah. I'm kidding. Well, we thank you all for tuning in. Please share if you learned anything or if you like the show. And we appreciate all your comments, and share it on your page. Unless it's not safe, then don't share it.
After the party is the after party.
Like I said, if it's not safe, it might not be safe for you to share our content, but if it is safe, then please do. And so we'll see y'all on Sunday at 3 p.m. and look for our graphic, and we'll promote it, and we'll be talking about trans athletes, which I'm scared to talk about, if I'm being honest. That's not safe. I ain't scared, but I'm like, Lord, what am I gonna say? Like, I'm gonna be listening.
Yeah, and I got data. I'm telling you, I'm giving academia. So I'm not, I'm going to give my perspective because I am leading the show. So I'm going to give my perspective, and Brandon, I'll make it easy for you. Because I know you're like, oh, Lord. But this was a request from Adam. So and I told Adam, you better be on, because I ain't playing. You didn't ask for it. And I'm going to need you to come in. I told him, shout out to Adam. I deployed with him in Iraq back in the day. So he requested it. So Adam, you need to be on the show on Sunday engaging, because I got data and academia, the science behind the transgender community. I have science. And like kind of what Everett said, the testosterone levels from trans women and all that, like I got it all. So, but yeah, this is a touchy subject. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it. Not everything is just easy peasy. Like it's gonna be some comfortable topics that we may talk about. So maybe this is a test for us to just kind of embrace it. So
I'm excited.
Yeah,
they're gonna call us more names. Watch them call us Marxists. They're gonna call us all kind of stuff. Watch, it's fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Well, thank you again, and we will see y'all on Sunday. And look, like I said, look for our promotion of it, and you can also share our promotion too, if it's safe.
Yes, you can share the event. So when we put the event up, you can share that. You can just press "I'm interested" or "I'm going," and it goes on, and then it goes on the news feed of all your friends.
Yeah.
So you don't have to promote it by like putting our like actual show on your page. But if you just press like on the event, it ain't going on your page. It'll just be on the news feed for your friends to see. Like, oh, they're interested in this. Oh, what is this about? And then they'll do their own search or whatever. If it's
if it's safe, yes.
If it's safe, yes.
Okay, y'all. Well,
so we're gonna close out with our little graphic, right?
Yes. I just
got
it up. We really did. It really was like church tonight, because how many times we done closed?
4 times. Okay, we're gonna go, y'all, and then we still talk about something.
We're gonna go. Good night, y'all.